Welcome back, everybody. So my next movie review for you is Godzilla 2 King of Monsters. So I'm not going to go hugely into depth for this movie review stream because I don't know this universe that well. But I very much enjoyed the 2014 Godzilla, even though you don't get to see a huge amount of him. And in any kind of sequel, you do have to kind of up your game a little bit to make the movie even more interesting than the first one. Now, I actually generally did enjoy the first one, where you don't get to see a huge amount of Godzilla in that movie. It makes it very enjoyable for me personally. I also knew that you were going to get to see a lot more of him in this movie. Anyway, you suggested that from the trailers because obviously there's a lot more other monsters in this movie. Now, I went into this movie not knowing the universe, and I actually really did enjoy this movie. There are a couple of problems with this movie, which I'm not really going to touch on because, in whole, I did enjoy this a hell of a lot. The storyline in here is not hard to follow. There is probably one twist in here which is very predictable, and I can see it coming from a mile away. Sometimes the storyline feels it's there, and then other times it feels like it's not there in any way, shape, or form. But the saving grace of this movie is the visual effects in this. Visual and special effects in this are absolutely superb. Some of the fight scenes in this between Godzilla and the three-headed one, I think are absolutely brilliant. I really do. I think they're very well done. It's not. There is a huge amount of special effects in this and visual effects in this as well, but it's not too overpowering to the point where you can't actually see or you're struggling to see what's going on with this movie. Perfect instance of this is, even though I did enjoy this movie, is Aquaman. Some of the visual and special effects in there were so bright and colourful, and there was so much going on. It's very hard to follow. In this movie, yes, it is heavily reliant on those two factors, but it's not too overpowering to the point where you can't follow or you're not struggling to follow some of the fight scenes or action sequences. Honestly, I did enjoy this movie. Performances, acting wise, in here they're a little bit off in places. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty much some of the performances are a little bit half-hearted. I have to be honest with you on that one. It's not enough for me to say, "Oh, that's shit," and all that kind of stuff. They were good enough to see the movie through because in an ideal world, this is just about a whacking great big lizard fighting a whacking great big three-headed monster, which I can't remember the name, and loads of other different little monsters start appearing and all that kind of stuff. And it's just a very good spectacle. Some of the scenes in here are actually very well done. They're quite beautifully done. Mothra, is it? I think that's the only name I remember. Knowing that I watched this movie a week ago, very well done. You know, I have to be honest with you, but by far my favourite part of this whole movie is when they literally help Godzilla to get. He takes a bit of a beating, and they make the choice to go and give him basically a kickstart with a nuclear bomb, and he becomes this whacking great big rage machine. By far, for me, the best part of this movie in any way. It just that end bit where it's just like a pure anger rage mode kind of thing. It's absolutely fantastic, and it just went nuclear. And you know, if you've seen this movie by now, you know exactly what I mean. If you haven't seen this movie, you will know exactly what I mean. And to be honest with you, like I said, I enjoyed the fight sequences. It's something different than, say, superheroes fighting. It's nice to see two whacking great big giants of monsters battling out with each other. And oh, it's just absolutely fantastic. I have to admit, like I said, there are certain problems with this movie. I've touched on one of them. The storyline, it is there. It is there. It's not non-existent. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it's there. To be honest with you, like I said, it doesn't really matter for me because the action in this is more of what I'm interested in. Other things in here, I'm not going to get into depth with them because I do find it an enjoyable watch. To be honest with you, so if I was to rate this movie, I would give it a nice strong 8.5 out of 10. So on that note, have you seen this movie? If you have seen this movie, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.